Hello everyone, I'm Seth with Exotic Motorsports, and this is our 1997 Porsche 911 Turbo. This car has 133,483 miles. So here on the front, we do have a considerable amount of rock chips. The hood is pretty well covered in them, almost to the windshield. The front bumper has a little bit of rock chips, but not that bad. It's mostly in front of the headlights and across the hood. Not trying to tell any tall tales about the condition of any of our inventory. Just being upfront, there are rock chips all over the front of this car and a little bit of light scratching. But here on the front bumper looks pretty good, and the headlight lenses also look really good. No issues there. So moving along to the front driver's side fender, again, a couple rock chips. So there's a lot of really fine rock chips, like really small ones. Nothing that really stands out quite a bit, like the hood. The hood has some big ones on there and some scratching about halfway down the middle. But the front driver's side fender looks pretty decent. Front driver's side wheel looks great. Driver's side mirror, again, rock chips. Some of them paint matched, the bigger ones anyways. So the mirror doesn't look horrendous. There's nothing that really stands out, but it does have some rock chips on there. Driver's side door, we've got some scratches and imperfections that have been paint matched. So they don't really stand out, but you can tell a nice polished black paint job will have somewhat of a mirror reflection. So you can see the defects through the braking in the continuity of that mirror reflection. But they don't really stand out. They're not super easy to see. Moving along to the driver's side rear quarter panel. Looks pretty good overall, but again, we do have some rock chips. This car being 24 years old and having 133,000 miles, it has had quite a few opportunities to come in contact with some rocks. But again, the rear quarter is not in awful condition. It just has a few spots here and there. Rear driver's side wheel. Wheels are in surprisingly good shape. The wheels look really good. Moving along to the back. Overall, the back bumper looks pretty good. We just have a few small issues. Very, very light scuffing there on the passenger side corner. Not easy to see. And here in the driver's side corner, it looks like we have had a defect, a minor issue that's been paint matched. Here on the rear engine compartment, lip or spoiler, whatever you'd like to call that, that is all in fantastic shape. No blemishes here. And the bumper itself, the tail lights are all in excellent condition. It does have a Fab Speed exhaust, along with quite a number of other modifications that are all listed in the vehicle's description and in the sales listing on our website, which you can find at exoticmotorsportsok.com. Passenger side rear quarter panel. Again, overall it's in good shape, but it does have some very light scratching and some very small rock chips. It's not perfect. Rear passenger wheel. Flawless, wheels look excellent. Passenger door, good condition, just a little bit of light rock chipping across it. Passenger mirror, light rock chips, overall looks good. And the front passenger fender, again, same story as the driver's side, covered in rock chips. Some pretty decent sized ones on this side, some light scratching. Just some very light cosmetic wear. And although these rock chips are pretty decent size and there's a good amount of them. If you stand about 2 feet away, they're really not noticeable across the car, like at all, anywhere. So you can only really notice them when you're right on the paint. Otherwise, I will say they blend in pretty well. Front passenger wheel, got a chip in the finish there. But otherwise, no rash or anything. They look good. So I would go ahead and walk around the vehicle from a 1 foot distance to give you a better overall idea of the condition of the car. It's easy to make it sound like it's in worse shape than it really is by pointing out every defect that it has, but here at Exotic Motorsports, we believe in full disclosure and complete transparency with the condition of our inventory. We do comprehensive walkarounds to give our out-of-state buyers the peace of mind and confidence they need to purchase a vehicle from us sight unseen if they choose to do so. Walking around a vehicle from a 1 foot distance is a lot more indicative of what you might notice on a day-to-day basis if you were to own the vehicle yourself, and help separate the larger, more noticeable flaws from the smaller, more insignificant ones. So hopefully with me walking around the vehicle from a 1 foot distance, you have a better understanding of the actual condition this car is in. So overall, without the rock chips, given the years of mileage, I'd say this is a very clean Porsche. There's no dents, there's nothing really wrong with it. It just has rock chips in the paint and that's it. Looking at the interior here, we've got very nice black leather and carpeted interior. There's a little bit of wear on the armrest portion of the door on the driver's side. Just a little bit, it's nothing serious. Door sill looks really good, it's not scuffed up or anything like that. Driver's seat looks fantastic. The leather here looks really good. The power seats, all the functions work. So the only actual flaws this car has is that, let me go ahead and start it real quick. Push the key in, hit the disarm button, turn it, clutch in, oh, turn the key back, disarm, there we go, starts right up. The only reason why it's showing the exclamation mark is due to our fuel level. Don't have a ton of gas in it, but otherwise we've got no faults at all. Parking brake light works. So anyways, like I was saying, the only faults that this vehicle has is that the passenger window switch does not work on the driver's side. So the switch for the passenger window on the driver's side door does not work. However, you can still roll the window down from the passenger door, so not a huge deal. And then the power mirrors unfortunately do not work, but everything else works great. The AC blows ice cold. Aftermarket Sony radio works great. Everything else works perfectly. We've got just a little bit of wear in the passenger seat. Otherwise looks really good. Back seats are in great condition. I love the red seat belts. Red seat belts look really good. I believe that it is a Goretti boost gauge. Yep, that is a Goretti boost gauge in KPA. Leather dash is in fantastic shape. Rear view mirror looks good. Headliner is in great shape, not sagging or worn or anything like that. The car on the interior looks really, really nice. It's just the few marks on the driver's side. That's really all that's wrong with it. This car goes through the gears and drives extremely well. This car drives phenomenally and is a ton of fun, and I feel like for being a 1997, it makes a lot more power than you'd expect. This car will absolutely get up and move. A lot of these older Porsches are just kind of for nostalgia, and they're fun to drive, but they don't make power. But this car makes some power. This one moves. This is the rear intercooler. You can't really see much of the engine compartment due to the size of the intercooler, but I will say the engine itself is extremely quiet, doesn't really make any noise. This idles incredibly smooth. The exhaust sounds so good on this car when you get into it. This car is a ton of fun to drive. Definitely has that classic Porsche look to it. This car is beautiful, and it is an absolute blast to drive. So that is our 1997 Porsche 911 Turbo with tons of aftermarket modifications. If you have any questions, please feel free to check out the sales listing on our website at exoticmotorsportsok.com. Thank you for watching.